Hey, what's going on? If you're seeing this video, I want to go ahead and welcome you to this little showcase of an expense tracker that I've been using for honestly the past year, and it's completely changed the game for me in terms of my financial situation. So if you're somebody who's looking to turn your financial situation around, or simply put, just looking to use a great tool to manage your expenses and your spending, investing, all that good stuff, definitely stay tuned as we go ahead and we showcase this expense tracker. Let's go ahead and dive into the shared screen. Alrighty, so first things first, all links are in the description, okay? So this template here, this is the default expense tracker template. And in this video, I'm just gonna basically walk you through everything you need to know about this tracker to really get the most out of it. So first things first, follow the instructions on the main page to actually go ahead and start to edit and use this template for yourself. You can see that, you're gonna go ahead and make a copy to actually start editing this template. By default, it is view only. So if you go in and you try to edit anything, it's not actually going to work. So by default, if we go ahead and take a look at this, after you've gone ahead and made a copy, the different tabs are down here at the bottom. So you have instructions, 2023, which is the current year at the time of me recording this video, and then graph. So starting on the first tab, 2023, this is how it's set up by default. You have guaranteed income, which is essentially your salary or what you're guaranteed to be paid on a month-to-month basis. Whatever that number is, go ahead and input it here. In some instances, it might be variable income. So you can see that there is a section here called additional income where you have bonuses, or maybe you're someone who's paid straight commission. You can go ahead and you can actually enter in something like this equals and then maybe you have a sale that's like $200 commission, great. You got another one that's $500. You can go ahead and just add it in one by one into this section. Or if you're someone who gets paid salary with bonuses, maybe you get a $500 bonus one month, you can go ahead and just input that in there. If we take a look back at the instructions, you can see that all the calculations have been pre-formatted to input for you. So to start, all you literally have to do is just input your monthly guaranteed income in the top left corner. And then from there, you basically just input your month-to-month recurring expenses. Of course, you're welcome to add individual expenses as one-offs as well. Right here, this is in capital letters. Please note you only need to edit or input values for the sections that are in blue. What I mean by that is in here, you have this section. This is blue. This is the first thing you need to edit. Additional income, you're welcome to input this if you have variable incomes at different points month to month. And then of course you have investment category 1 and 2, which are both blue. And then anything that you input in the expense column is going to be blue as well. And then you can fill in those values as time goes on. You can see total expenses right here. It's going to show you basically the total of everything you have down here tallied up, automatically done for you. And then there is a section for investment category, which is great for anybody that's looking to put away or put aside some money on a month-to-month regular basis into a savings or investment portfolio. One of the things that we talk about a lot, especially in the mentorship program, is the importance of building a portfolio for yourself. Dollar cost averaging into assets that make sense. So you can go ahead and you can input, maybe it's a preset value. Maybe you want to do $100 a month in investment category 2. You can go ahead and you can input that. If ever you were wanting to delete a section of the spreadsheet, for example, this entire row, you can just select the row, double click or right click, click delete row, and it's going to go ahead and delete that row for you. Now, if we go ahead and we take a look at the actual example that I put together here, just for some more tips and tricks, the top section here, I have basically my recurring month-to-month expenses that are set in stone. Now, I have these color coordinated. I'll talk about that in a second. Essentially, phone bill, that's pretty much the same price every single month. You can see that January, as an example here, this was $75.88. That was because there was like some data or overage charges, but typically my phone bill is $67.80 every single month. Okay, so these are the consistent, guaranteed, like not really going to fluctuate a whole lot expenses that I have included at the top here. The ones that I have at the bottom are a little bit more variable, something that changes from month to month. Food, because of how much I travel, this is something that fluctuates quite a bit. Gas, depending on how much you're traveling or how much I'm traveling, this is something that'll fluctuate, so on and so forth. One thing that is cool to know, you can see that again, I have guaranteed income as salary as an example, $2,000. January, maybe I had a big month, lots of commissions, $1,500 in extra income. You can see cumulative overall income is right beneath it. So that's going to take any sort of additional income input up here plus your guaranteed income. That's going to give you that number here. Money left after expenses. Okay, this is going to be green if it's a surplus. It's going to be red if it's a negative, which means you spent more than you made for that month. And this is a good way of just keeping tabs on how much you're spending in comparison to how much you're making. And you can also see the amount invested up here on a month-to-month basis. So investment category 2 and 1. you can see that we had 300 and 200, which equals, of course, 500. So again, these are all predetermined. I could put, you know, maybe I had a big month in April, $1,000 invested in category 2. It's going to go ahead and calculate that for me and include that in there, which is really, really cool. Top left corner, total invested. So cumulative for the entire year, what all has been invested. You can see that in that section there as well, which is really, really cool. One thing that I liked to do is set a budget for yourself using color coding. Anything that is up here as a recurring expense, pretty much month to month guarantee, I'm always going to keep this text green once I've paid that off. It's going to be black text by default. Once I've paid that off, I go ahead and I change the color to green. And let's say that for my one-off or kind of variable expenses at the bottom here, I like to set parameters for myself where essentially for food, if I'm spending more than $300 a month, $300 to $400 that I'm spending on food, I color that orange just because I like to keep a budget as close to $300 as possible. I would keep this green if it was $300 or less on food. Anything more than $400, I put red, which means that I overspent on kind of what I would be aiming for with food on that given month. Just a little idea. You don't have to do this, but obviously just something that I've found to be helpful in keeping myself on track is color coding the expenses that I paid up here at the top. If I've paid it, I go ahead and I color it green. By default, of course, it's just going to be black text. And down here with the one-off or kind of variable expenses, I like to set a budget or parameters for myself as to what I would like to spend or spend around more or less on any given month. So green is like good. It's either I met my budget or was under budget. Orange is a little bit over budget. And then red is like, okay, yo, I gotta chill. This was significantly over budget. Now to add notes, you guys can see that any of the sections here that have like a little triangle in the top right corner, that means that there's notes associated with it. The way that you add a note is super, super simple. All I have to do to actually pull up and create a note is right click and click insert note. All right. And then in here, I can put $100 for groceries, August 26. You know, something like that. Really nice, handy to be able to have those, and you can kind of go back and you can refer to what you've been spending. If you want to put the dates in there, you can. Sometimes I'll just put it, you know, one by one. What I'll do to get these tallied totals for food where I have, you know, numerous things that I'm buying on and off is I'll essentially just go to a cell, click enter, and then maybe I bought Starbucks for $8. So I'm going to put $8 plus maybe the next spending was $19. Great. Plus, you know, maybe $25, whatever the case is. And then you can add notes for each of those expenses as you please. It's something you don't have to do, but again, it can just be helpful for really keeping track of your spending. And last but not least, we have the graph. So the thing that I love about this section of the spreadsheet is that you have at the bottom section here, monthly totals. So assuming that all these different months have gone by, obviously this is just an example, but you will actually see the monthly total for expenses tracked here. So the nice thing about this is that you can toggle it back and forth between months. So if we go to a month that hasn't been edited yet, this will be completely blank. But you can go back and forth and just see, you know, where your money's really going. Keep full tabs, you know, keep track of absolutely everything with your spending in this spreadsheet. If you have any questions at all when it comes to using this spreadsheet, go ahead and just drop it in the comment section down below or reach back out to whoever sent you this video. But this is basically going to go ahead and wrap up the tutorial for how to use this spreadsheet. Keep tabs on all your spending, all your income. This is something that's really helped me go from where I was when I started using this template, which was basically having no idea where my money was going and being in debt like crazy, to knowing exactly where my money's going, being able to actually financially game plan and move forward in a way that really makes sense. And I know that this can do that for you as well if you go ahead and actually make use of this template. So with that being said, catch you all in another video very, very soon. Take care.